that giggle. Okay, so if everyone can get into either Google Chrome or Firefox and go to Delgado's homepage. Hey, Brad, just go ahead and sign in. Now, I said use Google Chrome or Firefox because Canvas likes these browsers the best. If you have a Mac, Canvas is fine with Safari. Internet Explorer is not Canvas friendly. They say it is, but there's always little hiccups where buttons won't pop up and then certain buttons won't actually respond when you click on them. So Internet Explorer has its place, just not with Canvas. So y'all just find a computer. You may have to raise one. And let's see, that one's not coming up. Yes, Firefox is fine. I'll tell you, I prefer Google Chrome, but Canvas prefers Firefox. It's not on there, then just use Chrome if it's not already on there. Oh, then use Firefox, it's fine. Yeah. No, you don't need to. Just go to the URL, which is way up here, and type in dcc.edu. I just raised some computers over there. This one's broken. So if you want to go to one of those computers I raised. Not to the home page yet? We're getting to the home page. Up in the URL. So this little toolbar way up here is called the URL, and that's where we can type in website addresses. So dcc.edu will bring you to the Delgado homepage. And once you're on this homepage, we're going to want to click Canvas, which is in this gray toolbar in the middle of the page. Not working? Here, for this one, you have to go up here.
Yeah, well, he did. He put DCC, but it didn't pull up. Oh.
www. Some websites need wwws. Sometimes they don't.
Okay. Very
And
good.
now we're going to click on Canvas. Okay, so once you're on Canvas's homepage, you're going to log in. Your login for Canvas is your Lola username and password. And when you land, you should be landing on what we call the dashboard. So I'm going to let everyone catch up to this point. Let me know, is anyone not on this page? Looks similar, won't be the same as mine. Okay, and that's what I'm going to talk about that in just a second. Okay. So, is everyone on at least the opening page for Canvas? That's all right. I can show you how to get those. So, this is your landing page. It's called the dashboard, and your dashboard can have two different views. The view that I have are my courses. And if you notice, some of my courses have pictures in them, and I'll show you how to add those. You can be very creative. And then some of my courses I don't put pictures on. I just don't think about it. Now, up here in the right-hand corner, you're going to see a little toggle bar. This is your choice on how you want to land in Canvas. If I click this toggle bar, then my dashboard is recent activity, and it's not my course list. This is a preference. Oh, no. I do not know this. Yeah, I don't have the credentials in this classroom. Make yours smaller. Let me show everyone's resolution seems really large. If everybody will look up here real quickly. Over here, it doesn't matter if you're in Firefox or Chrome, you should see a little like kind of toolbar that you can click. If your screen is really large, you're going to want to zoom smaller so you can see everything on one screen. So y'all's screens are just really large. So for yours, you're in the right spot. Right
Right
here.
there?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Just keep, yeah, that's about right. You got it, Valerie? Okay. Well, you could be in a different browser than me. Yeah, so you can click, just, yeah, that's it. You can click that one too. These are for students. Click that one. Okay. Now you have it. Yeah, you're looking at that for students. So make yours smaller. Make this whole screen larger. That would make, okay. Oh, sorry, they have a different resolution. Click right here one time. Go right here. And right here, go down to about 90%. Okay. And now you can go off and you'll see everything on one screen. Okay, so when you are on this view, the recent activity view, this is going to tell you what's going on in all of your classes. So you can see I have 16 announcements, 11 messages, 35 discussions. I'm going to have a lot because I'm enrolled in about 100 classes. You don't necessarily have to use this view. I don't find it that helpful for me as a teacher. It may be more helpful for students. I prefer to use this view right here where I toggle and I can see my course list. So it's really a preference, but those are your two dashboard views. Okay. Now, you may or may not see your courses on your dashboard. You able to get in yet? Okay, let me see. It's your email. No, not your full. It's no at. Okay. Okay. John, come to this computer. I got logged in. I got logged in over here. Oh my God. This is just... No, it's not letting me in. I don't. I'm going to have to... Jean's giving a session, and she's the one with them. No. Okay. Okay, so if you've been at Delgado for a semester or two, you're going to have more than one class, and you can actually click which classes you want to show up on this opening page. So if you look on the left-hand side of the screen, you're going to see a column. Yours is going to be green. I'm just an admin, so mine's a little different. And in that column on the left-hand navigation icons, you're going to see courses. When you click on courses, you're also going to see a list of courses. I have personalized this list for my liking. You have that same option. To do that, I want you to scroll down to your list of courses and you're going to see all courses. Go ahead and click on all courses. Your course list may not be this long, but are you seeing courses with stars next to them? Okay. Your first list of courses are usually your active courses. Let me scroll down past them. If you keep scrolling, you're going to see past enrollments. So you still have access to all your old classes. If you keep scrolling, you're going to see future enrollments. Okay. Any course that you want to pop up on that dashboard and in the course list, you want to click the star. If the star is clicked, the course will automatically populate on your dashboard. So if I wanted somebody's introduction to business, I don't know whose person this is, I would click this. Well, those are past enrollments. I'm going to click Raymond Duplessis Sandbox. I click it. My star changes color. And now that course will pop up on my dashboard and my course list. I don't want this sandbox popping up, so I'm just going to unclick it. So any of the stars that have color filled in are going to be the ones that pop up. So you can personalize this to meet your needs. And you can see it automatically takes, you don't need to save anything. So when you go back to dashboard, if you changed anything, they're going to show up on your dashboard. So I'm back on dashboard. Anytime you may click something by accident, you can always just go click dashboard. It brings you back to your starting page. So you can just kind of start the steps over if you get a little lost. Okay. Now, one thing that's really important about Canvas is it's a great way to communicate with your students. The problem is students have to set notifications so they can get the communication. Now, this is where students have a lot of leeway. They can choose how they want to be notified. What is one thing that students always have on them? Their phone. So, students like texting. They can choose to be notified of Canvas information that you send out, or that's just posted in the class by text. Most of our students don't realize that they have to set their default email when they register the first time. So a lot of them have their DCC email. Do they check their DCC email? No. So they can put in a personal email that Canvas will send notifications to. The great thing is, I never see their personal information. They never see your personal information. It's just how we receive communication. So there's no violation, and there's no worries that, oh my gosh, they're going to have my cell phone number. So to do this, if you click on your account, that's going to be the top icon. You are going to see settings. Go ahead and click on settings. So go to your account icon and click on settings. It's going to be, you have a column over here. This is your course overview. So this is your global navigation pane. Now, if you notice, all the way on your right-hand side of the page, you're going to see email address, and you're going to see next to your instructor name, it's your Delgado 1 starred. By default, all instructors will always have their DCC 1 starred. Well, maybe I don't check my DCC email, and I want it forwarded to my personal email. So what we can do is we can add an email address. You're going to click this plus email address. And at this point, you can add a personal email address. And remember that the students never see this. It's just how I receive communication. So I will say register email, and I get a confirmation sent to me to make sure that I did these steps. Now, if you want your text messages to be your primary form of notification, you can go click email address or contact method. So go ahead and click one of those. And you can add in your cell phone number and your carrier. And then you can register your phone. Yes? Ever. Yes, because it all goes through Canvas. Everything is through Canvas. Yes. So Canvas is like the middleman, and it kind of, I will say once in a while things might get lost, but usually it's something that on Delgado's side with our server, and we've had to fix it for like 15 teachers over 2 years, so it's not bad. Okay, so I bet your screen's too large. Yeah, let's make your screen smaller so everything's in one view so you don't have to scroll a lot. So click right here. Those little 3 dots. And go down to 90%.
Thank you.
And this is a lot of times now. Go off of here. Perfect.
Okay.
Oh, hold on. Sorry. Let me just make it smaller.
Thank you.
I didn't want to do that. There we go. Now you can see everything in one view. I already have my cell phone in here, so I'm not going to add it again, but you would just follow those prompts. Okay. So did everyone add something? You can always delete it. Don't feel like you have to keep it in there, but I just kind of want to show you the steps, because these are the same steps your students will take. So you can see I have 2 email addresses in there. I have my preferred Delgado, and then I have my phone number in there. What this does is it allows me to set how I want to receive my notifications. So once you add this information, you're going to go to your account again, and you're going to go to notifications. So you're going to click your account in the global toolbar, and then you're going to click notifications. Notifications. Oh. Go to this picture. Settings. Okay, make yours smaller. Go right here. Go about down to 80%. Okay, now click off if you're, let's see if that's big enough. Yeah. So here's how you would add another email address. You would just type it in, and then you can add its phone number if you want to also. You don't have to. This is just to show you how to do it. But right now, if you close that down, I'm right here in notifications now. Okay? Okay, so what we're seeing is our notification preferences. We have 4 options for all the things Canvas can do. We can receive notifications immediately. That's this check mark. I can receive them 1 time a day, 1 day a week. The 1 day a week is set up to send at Saturday morning at, I think it's like 5 a.m., somewhere around there. They set that, I don't. And then never. If you notice, what are most of mine set at? Never. I personally don't want a lot of notifications because I'm the instructor, but students want the notifications. Now, it's kind of hard to see, but you can read on your page. There's notifications from everything from due dates to announcements. If you keep scrolling down, grading, students want to know their grades immediately. And if you keep scrolling down, there's messaging. Messaging is really called conversations. It's basically Canvas's email server. You'll notice that for messages, I have them checked. I have them checked because when a student emails me through Canvas, I want to know immediately. I don't want to wait till that night or Saturday at 5 a.m. Because if you forget to check your Canvas inbox, then you won't get them. You'll notice I have 677 in my inbox. I've read all of them because they go directly to my Outlook account. So I just ignore this inbox. It kind of drives me a little crazy, but it takes too long to delete them. Now, I am choosing for everything to be sent to my Delgado email, but if I wanted my due dates sent to my Gmail account, I would just click the check mark. If I wanted due dates sent to my cell number, I would just click the check mark. So you have different options, and it's really what you feel comfortable with. I don't want anything sent to my personal accounts. That's my personal stuff. I just want to keep it all through my Delgado account. So it's what you're comfortable with. This is really important for students. Otherwise, students won't be notified immediately of announcements, notifications, due dates, grades, change of due dates. Whatever they sign up for, they'll find out immediately, so they can never say, well, I didn't know. I forgot to check. So you really need to encourage your students to sign up for this, because they probably won't do it on their own. I actually make my students do it with me in the room, but I can't say that they're going to keep it. They can go back and change everything on their own. Do you have any questions about notifications? What's the most important thing you can tell your students? Do you see their cell phone number? No. Do you see their personal email addresses? No. The only time you see that is if they contact you directly. So if they're going through Canvas, you're seeing it as a Canvas message. You're not seeing it from their Gmail, Yahoo account, Hotmail account. Now, how many of you would like to put a picture up if you don't have one? Anyone? A few? Okay. So do you see, if you click on this little account setting again. Mine already has a picture in it. I'm going to click on this account setting, and then I'm going to click Profile. Okay. So I don't have a biography written about me. You can feel free to do that. I don't like to give too much information out to my students, but I want them to have a picture of me. Usually it's a real picture of me, but yesterday I did a demo and I showed them a koala. So to change pictures, you're going to click on this circle. It could be a gray circle. So click on it once. And if you have a camera, or if you have your laptop or desktop with a webcam in it, you can just say take a picture, and you can take one with the webcam. Or you can choose a picture from your pictures on your computer. So I'm going to go ahead and show you. I'm going to say choose a picture. And I don't have anything on this computer that's mine, but we have default pictures, sample pictures. And I'm going to become a penguin now. So I'm just clicking whatever picture I want to be up there, and then I can adjust where I want it to be. So now I am a penguin. It is really great for students, especially online and hybrid students that won't see you that much, to have a name to go with the computer. So the name, face, computer connection helps them out a lot. These computers might work up front, but you have to kind of go at an angle. Do y'all want me to try to pull these up for you? Are you sure? Joy, you want me to try to pull it up? You just have to turn a little bit to see what I'm doing. You good? Okay. Okay, so what we've covered is kind of where students land, how to set notifications, how to kind of change your profile. The next thing I want to do is we want to go to courses again. In your course list, you should have a sandbox, and this is just kind of like a playground, so you don't have to play around in courses that are going to be available to students. Your sandbox may not be listed on this list. Mine's not. I have to go into all courses to get my sandbox. Does everyone have a sandbox? Yay, this is a first. So go ahead and get into your sandbox. Did you go to all courses? Okay. Do you have a course from last semester you can go into right now? Okay, I'll create one for you after class, and that way you'll have one. Now just ignore this step real quick I'm doing. I'm going to clear my sandbox out so it's empty. Oh, okay, I didn't pull one up. Let me pull one up. You're welcome. It might take a minute for it to boot up. Okay, if your sandbox isn't available right now, just go into an old course, one from the fall semester, one from summer. Any old course will do right now. Yeah, if you don't have your sandbox right now. And you can just pick one from the past. So the first thing I want to talk about is how your course is set up. Your sandbox or the course you're in may look a little different. That's okay, because you've already probably played in it some. But on your left-hand side of the page, you're going to have a list of navigation links. If you walk into a classroom and you see this list, would you be a little overwhelmed? Yeah, I would be. So what we want to think about is what's going to be best for our students between navigation, what's intuitive for them to move around. So you have the opportunity to develop your course. You in one? Yeah, perfect. Okay. Is it an old one? There's your sandbox. That's fine. That's where I am. Yeah, that's exactly where I am. You don't have a sandbox.
I am an instructor.
That's all right. Just go into that. Now, you have a lot of control over what students see, do, experience. So in your course, if you scroll all the way to the bottom, you're going to see the bottom navigation link, and it's called Settings. You only see this. Students will never see this, so this is where you control what students get to experience. Go ahead and click on Settings. It's going to be the last navigation link. Just use, yeah, you're perfect. Just get the canvas. Go to dcc.edu. Click right here. Yeah. And then do www.dcc.edu. Yeah, sometimes it works. Oh, okay, perfect. And then log in the canvas. Okay, so do y'all notice that I have a picture of some buildings that I probably should know what those are, but I don't? So I'm going to change this picture to show you how you can actually make your course a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. So if you hover over your thing, you should see a little cogwheel. I'm going to remove my edges, and it should just say Choose Image. So if you click Choose Image, you're going to have two options. One option is to use the Creative Commons that Canvas provides for you, and that way you don't have to worry about what you pick. Or if you are really peculiar and you are picky, you can actually browse your computer and get a picture from your files. So I'm just going to say dogs, and I'm going to make this my picture. So that's what my students are going to see with this course every time they log in. Okay, everything else on this page you don't need to worry about. It's preset, so just leave it as is. That's always the safest. What I want y'all to do is look on the third tab across, and it's called the Navigation tab. So right here is called the Navigation tab. This list is a list of all the navigation links available to students. It's a lot. I have a few rules I always tell people. If you don't know what something is, that means you don't use it right now. And if you get rid of it, you can always bring it back when you're ready to use it. The less is more. So in Canvas, less is always more. So to get rid of all of these links, if you scroll down a little bit, you're going to see an area that says Drag Items Here to Hide. So you can just start dragging material to that area that you don't want students to see. Yes?
Is there a way to universally do this in all your courses?
No, great question, but it's a wish list. Yes. Okay. You can also, if you don't want to drag, you can click the cogwheel and put Disable. So there's two ways to do it. Depending on what you teach, you might keep certain things present. You might hide other things. So today, all I'm going to keep present are about 5 of them. Okay, so I'm going to keep home, announcements, grades, modules, and attendance present. Now, just because I did that does not mean it sticks. If you scroll all the way to the bottom of the page, you will see a Save button. If you forget to click that, all your dragging was in vain. So again, this is very optional. All of my classes are a little bit different because certain classes I use certain tools in. So this is kind of the minimal look, but if you know that you use other things, feel free to keep them. Now, I just saved it, and we can see that even though this is still my teacher view, it is a lot shorter now. It's not as long. Do y'all notice that some of my navigation links are dark and some of them are basically transparent? Okay. Navigation links are going to be transparent for one of two reasons. First reason is we hide them. Some navigation links, hidden or not, we always have access to. So I hid pages, assignments, files. Even though they're hidden from students, I always have access to them right here. The other reason that they could be transparent is that the area is empty. So I can't see which one. I think this one's my modules. My modules is available, but it's empty, so students can't click on it right now. So I would have to actually put material in this area for it to be live. So we'll go over that in just a second. If in the middle of the semester you get an email that says, hey, it's class climate survey time. Y'all know what those are, SOIs? Okay, there is class climate surveys right here. You may not want to junk up your area for the whole semester. You may just want to pull it up when they're active. So if it's October, or sorry, we're in spring. If it's March and they tell you to post it, all you have to do is drag it up here and save it. So these are just kind of little things you may not remember after leaving today, but you know that you've seen it done before. Okay, so any questions about the navigation links? Good, y'all are great. Okay, next thing I want to show you is files. Even though students don't have access to files, we still do. So go ahead and find your files link, mine's somewhere right here, and click on the files link. Navigation. Oh, you just clicked one up too many. So you're going to go to courses. Click your sandbox, Deborah Reed sandbox. Perfect. And scroll all the way down to the bottom. You got it. And now, you see navigation's the third blue link over in the middle, it's right in the middle, right? Yep, one more. Perfect. And then you can change that or you can leave it. That's really personal preference. I always just say less is more. Oh, not a problem. That's not the sign-in sheet for today. Yeah, Elizabeth, I have it up front. Just make sure you sign in before you leave. You'll be fine. Yeah, it's up front. Yeah, up that front. The other front. My other left, my other right. Okay, so I'm going to click on Files. And if you have files in there, that's great. If not, it's going to be empty and looks just like this. So I'm going to assume, and I know you shouldn't assume stuff, but I'm going to assume that y'all have files on your computer that you use to teach from. And often we say the files are in the My Documents area, basically folders, and there's more folders, and there's files in those folders, and you can organize. Canvas is the exact same thing. What I usually advise people when setting up a course is load all the files that you think you're going to need, but keep them organized. So once they're loaded, you can build your course at a much faster pace than having to load one file at a time. So I am type A with organization. I'm sure people have recognized that already. And I like to have a folder for each area of content. So if you want to do chapters, if you want to do weeks, I do type of content. So I do lecture notes, PowerPoints, test material, study guides. So I create a lot of different folders. If I wanted to create a folder, how do you think I'm going to do that? Plus folder. So go ahead and click plus folder. And I'm just going to start this one off with course policies. You can name these whatever you're comfortable with.
One thing, if you don't have a sandbox,
Okay. I know you have a sandbox. I created it for you. It's just finding it. Save real quickly. Yeah, once the past course is gone, stuff disappears. There we go. Brad, will you catch him up to the files? Okay. Okay, now, I named this course policies. There's two ways to make this stick. You can click enter or you can click the check box. So once it sticks, it actually looks like a blue folder. I'm going to create another 2 folders just so I can show you some tips and tricks. And I'm just going to name them lecture notes and study guides. The names don't mean anything. If you don't like these at the end of today, what can you do with all of this? Change it, delete it, get rid of it. This is your sandbox, hopefully, so it's not going to affect anything. Okay, now, I'm going to go ahead and click on this folder and just open it up, and it tells me it's empty, so I want to add files. How do you think I get files into this folder? What button am I going to push? Upload. Now, I didn't tell y'all to bring your flash drives. That's fine. These computers have enough junk on them that we can steal it. So I'm going to click Upload. And if you want to, you can go to Downloads, and you can see if there's any downloads on your computer. Or you can go to Documents and see if there's any documents. This computer happens to be empty. So I'm going to go to Pictures, and I know that I have pictures present. What's great about Canvas is you can actually upload all 8 pictures at once, or you can cherry pick. You can say, I want the desert, lighthouse, and the penguins only. You don't have to do individual uploads, so you save a lot of time. So I'm going to click Desert, Lighthouse, and Penguins. So all 3 are highlighted, and I'm going to say Open, and they're going to upload them all together very quickly. Yes? It doesn't let you do folders, but you can grab everything in that folder. So if I'm going to just show you real quickly, I'm going to go Upload. I can do Shift. Is it Control? Yeah, it's Shift. Shift. And then I have all of them. And then I can say Open. And this is a good thing. How many times do you forget if you upload something? It says, an item named Desert already exists. Do you want to replace the existing file? I can choose Change the name if it's a more recent version, or I can do Replace. So Canvas is going to catch some of the mistakes we often make. Yes? You can do it 2 different ways. You can do Control-A, or you can hold down the Shift button right here. So hold down the Shift on the first one, click it. So I click Chrysanthemum, and then I'm going to hold down Shift, and I'm going to click Lighthouse, and it does everything in between it. Now, what if I'm like, oh no, I just posted my chapter 1, 2, 3 notes in my school policies. There's no reason to delete them. Canvas allows you to drag and drop. So if Chrysanthemum's really supposed to be in lecture notes, I just drag it over. If Desert's supposed to be in study guides, I just grab it and drag it over. So it gives you a lot of capabilities to move stuff around. You have a question? Great question. No, it's only for your sandbox. So this was a question asked yesterday, and I just didn't have time to look up. As an admin, I can put courses in files for my entire course, for all my courses. I don't know if teachers have that capability, and I just didn't have time to check it out yesterday. But that's a great question, so I'm going to show you where can we find that information since I don't know it right off the bat. Do y'all see y'all's little global navigation tool? We pay for this service. And many of you might have emailed me, and I'll say, that's a great question. Have you gone to the help desk yet? Just because there's one of me and there's 750 of y'all. So I will often tell you to go to the help desk. Go ahead and click on your help desk, and it should just pop out with the side screen like this. Thank you. I was going to say, I cannot talk about their efficiency, their effectiveness. They solve about 98% of the teacher's problems. When they don't solve, do come directly to me. So I'm Tier 2 support, they're Tier 1 support. You can search the guides. That's what I do. I personally don't want someone walking me through anything, so I always search the guides. Now, when I can't get it through the guides, I use the chat, because I hate being on the phone. So I use Canvas chat. I prefer them a little bit more than the phone also, because with chat, you can give them your links, and they'll actually go right into the course and mimic what you're doing. So they can kind of follow you along. And they send you little videos if you get stuck. So they'll say, oh, no, you need to do this, this, and this, and they'll send you a video of how to do it. If you like the phone line, go ahead and get on the phone line. So Help Desk is amazing. Okay, so does everyone have some type of file loaded? It doesn't matter what it is, we'll pretend that is what we want. Everyone's got some files? Perfect. Yes. Yes. Yeah, just right.
Yeah, I did that already, but is there a way if I wanted to copy one of these and still have it here?
No, you just need to load it in both places. Yeah. And it might still ask you if you want to replace it. It might recognize that it's in a different folder and just say no, just change its name, and you can say Desert 1. Or put a date with it if you changed it somewhat. Okay, so we've done our files. I always say load all your files first, and that way you can start building. If you forget a file later on, you can do it wherever you're at. You don't ever have to go back to files if you don't want to. So go ahead. Next place we're going to go is we're going to go to modules. Now, I'm going to click off of it real quick. I want you to recognize that modules is grayed out, but I made modules available to my students. So why would it be grayed out? Nothing's in it. My modules is empty. Yours may be, yours may not. So right now, even though modules is available to students, it's empty. And since it's empty, there's nothing for them to see. I want you to think of modules as Walmart, one-stop shop, food, groceries, clothes, whatever you need, you can get from Walmart. That's what modules is. Not everyone likes modules. There's other ways to use Canvas. But modules allows the students to go to one spot in Canvas and do all their work instead of having to click multiple times. Students get distracted easily, so if they have to click a lot, do you think they're going to pay as much attention? And you want to make it intuitive. So if you set up modules in a certain way, you can make that theme throughout the whole course or even all your courses. So what a module is really a folder that we can put stuff in an organized manner. So go ahead and click plus module, top right-hand corner. And I'm gonna call mine start here. You can call it whatever you want. So this module is gonna be where when my students first log into Canvas, they should know, hey, this says start here. I should go there first. Believe me, it doesn't always work. So I'm gonna click start here. I'm gonna add the module. Now what you'll notice is next to the module that you just created, it's gray. Can students see gray modules? What does the gray tell us? Not published. So if I want a student to see this module, I just click this little cloud and it publishes it. Now, I just want to show you, you don't have to follow this step. I'm going to click somewhere else. And do y'all notice that modules is now dark? It's dark because something's in it now. Okay, so I just wanted to show you how it recognizes immediately that there's content present. Okay, so in your modules, we're going to add material. Now you can have tons of modules. I have a module, I set my class up in testing blocks. Some people do chapters, some people do weeks. It's so up to you. Some people do content material. That's really a teacher's preference. So I usually have about 6 modules, a start here, testing blocks, and then testing, like the test that they actually take. So to add things to this module, I'm going to click this plus sign right here that's parallel to the module. So it's saying, what do I want to add to my Start Here module? You can add lots of material. You can add an assignment. Assignments are going to be the areas where students upload papers. They can give you a URL, maybe that you're in a coding class or they're building websites, something with computers I don't know anything about. They can give you that link. You can create assignments that are just grade column holders, space holders. So you may be using Canvas for a face-to-face class, so they're taking their test in class. They're going to want to know their grades. So you can create grade column holders by using assignments. So assignments have a lot of power to them. A quiz is a test. So Canvas calls test quizzes. So if it's high stakes, low stakes, if it's a survey, no stakes, it's a quiz. Students don't see that word quiz. They're going to see whatever you name it. Files, those are what we just loaded. A content page. How many of y'all have used Wikipedia before? Everyone's heard of Wikipedia? Okay, come on, y'all. Just have some good information on celebrities. Okay, so with content pages, it's basically a blank web page that you build out. So you can do it really plain, or you can do it really, detailed and sophisticated. Discussion boards. These are your discussions. A text header is basically like a column that breaks up material. External URL, so if you want to link them to a website outside of Canvas, that's how you do it. And then external tools. If you use publishers, so McGraw, Pearson, Cengage, Norton, Wiley, this is where your external tools are. the school pays for a lot of tools. We pay for NetTutor. We pay for NBC Learn. These are all tools that are paid for that are linked through Canvas right here. So if there's ever a tool that you're interested in, a lot of times this is how you add the tool. So for right now, we're going to add a file. So go ahead and click on File. And all the files that are in your course should pop up. The reason I say you want to organize is if you've loaded 200 files, they're just going to be listed. If you have them organized by folders, it's easier for you to find what you need. If you forget a file and you need it, do you have to go back to Files to load it? If you need a new file and you forget it, do you need to go back to Files to load it? What did you say, Jim? No. If you forget a single file, you can always do it directly from here. But this only allows you one file at a time, so it can become tedious. So what I want you to do is pick any file. It doesn't matter which one. And then say Add It. Yes? No, just the specific course you're in. You may have been, because this is last semester.
Yeah, but I'm in the sandbox.
Yeah, you probably played around. Yeah, you can always delete anything we do today. Oh yeah, just adding one file. Yes. It can be for any class. Discussions are good in all classes. Yeah, that's exactly how you do it. Yes. So a discussion's basically a separate tool that gets dropped in there, and it's going to have a little cloud. So all the icons are different for what we're doing. So this is a cloud with a down arrow. That tells us it's a file. A discussion's really a chat cloud, so it looks like a chat box. So I call it a cloud, but it's a chat box. Okay, now, if you don't like the name of your file, you can go ahead and down-click the cogwheel that's attached to that file and pick Edit, and you can always change the name. It doesn't affect the file in any way, it's just how the students are reading it on Canvas. Now, I chose a picture, so I can't show what I want to show you, because I don't think there's anything in here. Let me try something real quick. I wasn't finding any regular files. Yeah, I don't have any files on this computer. Okay, so what I want to show you is go ahead and click, as long as your file is not a picture. If it's a picture, this won't work, but go ahead and click your file if it's a DOC, PDF, RTF, Excel, PowerPoint, anything that's not a JPEG. And what it's going to show you is it gives the students a preview of that file. So even though Delgado offers students free Microsoft Office, they can get Adobe, bless you, they can get Adobe for free. They may not have downloaded it quite yet on their computer, and they don't want to fall behind. So Canvas gives them previews of all documents without having to have the actual program present. Okay. But we do offer students free Microsoft, so there's no excuse for them not being able to open stuff. Okay, so we added a file. I want you to go ahead and click the plus again. But this time we're not going to add a file, we're going to add a content page. So you're going to click the plus that's parallel to the Start Here module. And it's going to come to Add Item, but we don't want to add a file again, we want to change it to Content Page. Again, you may have content pages already created. This is a new course for me, so if I want to create a content page, I click New Page. And I'm going to name this page just Course Policies, because I am not creative today. Siri's making an appearance. Now, can my students see this course policy? Nope, because it's not published. Is there anything in the course policies, though? No, I just literally put a blank page on Canvas. So I can publish it now, or I can go work on it. I can go work on it. It doesn't really matter. So to work on this page, I'm going to click the name of it. And it just shows me that this page is empty. So I want to add material. What button do you think I'm going to click to add material? Edit. So in the course policy page, or whatever you named yours, you click the edit button. And this is where you can start to have a lot of fun. And this is really just dependent on how much time you want to spend. So when you get into a regular page, you're going to see a text editor box that's very similar to Microsoft Word. And it gives you a lot of the same options from, underlining, color, paragraph, subscript, bullets. You get all that stuff. What's fun are some of the other tools that we'll go over in just a second. So this page can be static. You can just put words on it, or you can make it interactive. So the first thing I want us to do is, I don't like using files because I don't think that gives students any information about what the reference is. It doesn't give them any preface to why I want them to look at a file. The syllabus, that's kind of obvious, but once you start adding a lot of files, it doesn't help them much. So I use pages to present my material, and I always give them a little sentence about what the file's pertaining to. So, one sentence about why I want them to open it so they can understand the use of it. Now I need to add the file. So we know we already loaded all these files, but now I need to know how to get to them. If you look on the right-hand side of your page, we're going to see 3 little tabs: links, files, and images. For our files, which ones do we want to click? You got it. So you're going to click your file. Yours is just really big. Let's make your course smaller. Go right here. And go down to about 80%. Okay, and click off of it. Yeah, you got it. Perfect. Yeah, it's just the resolution gets really large sometimes. Oh, just go ahead and click Files. That's all we're at. Did everyone find their files? No one's page is too large? That's usually the biggest problem, is the resolution. Okay. So in files, you'll notice that they're all organized. Imagine if you didn't organize them, you have 200 files in a long string, and it's pretty tiny over here, so it's kind of hard to see. So organization is helpful. I'm just going to go in to Course Policies and grab a file and click on it. When you click on a file's name, it automatically populates where your cursor was last placed. So here's my cursor right here, and I'm going to click Koala, and my Koala file goes right there. I'm going to have my cursor under Koala, and I'm going to click Penguins. The Penguins file goes right there. Now, sometimes you might want to include pictures. You might upload your own pictures, or you may just want to find something from Canvas to make it a little prettier. So I'm not going to choose files this time. My options are links, files, or images. If I want to add a picture, which one am I going to choose? Images, which is pictures, yeah. Okay, so we can see that any picture I've already uploaded is present. But maybe I don't want these. I'm going to go search Flickr, and this is where Canvas gives you a repository of pictures that they have rights to, so we don't have to worry about any copyright violations. So I'm just going to put in dog, because I'm a crazy dog lady, and I get all these pictures of dogs, and wherever my cursor is, that's where the picture is going to go. So my cursor's underneath penguins. I click on the picture, and there it is. If you think the picture's too big, you can always play around with the size of it. Just highlight it, click on it once, and you'll get these little corner drag boxes. You can just change the size of it. So the whole thing about this box is wherever your cursor is where things are going to be. So sometimes you might forget to move your cursor. You can always just put spaces between it, hit return, you can delete it. Now, how many of y'all may use videos to help supplement your teaching? A few of y'all? Okay. How many of you use YouTube videos that you don't create? Yay! Guess what? If you look over on the text editing box, do y'all see YouTube? Okay. It's not the full YouTube search abilities, but it has a lot. So go ahead and click on, make sure your cursor's where you want it. So my cursor's underneath this little doggy picture. And I'm going to go ahead and click on YouTube. I'm going to give y'all one guess as to what I'm going to search for. Dog. At least I'm predictable. And it's just going to give me all the pictures that are associated with this tag. I suggest watching your videos first to make sure that there's nothing inappropriate. But once you have a video that you want, all you have to do is click embed once. Now you're going to get a big gray box. You cannot see the video right now because we're in edit mode. We have not saved this yet. So until we save something, we can't see how it looks. Now this is a really big box. If you want to change the size of the video, feel free. But remember that with YouTube videos, students can just click on it and it goes full screen for them. So the size doesn't really matter to begin with. So I've added a video, a picture, and different files. So if I want my students to see this, what would I click? Yep, save and publish. But if I am not ready for them to see it, I just want to save it and work on it later, what would I click? Yeah, just save. So your two options are cancel everything you've done, save and publish, or just save. I'm going to click save and publish. And we can see this is exactly what my students are going to have access to. Okay. If you want to unpublish it, maybe you're like, okay, I'm not ready for them to see this material. Do you see this big publish, green publish button up at top right? I can just click unpublish. And then I can go in and edit it some more. So you have full control over what's available. Okay, so we've done files, notifications, modules, how to add content pages, YouTube videos. Go ahead and click edit. I want to show you one other thing, a tool that we have. So click edit again. And we're back in here. Make sure your cursor is somewhere that you can find it. So I'm going to put mine up top so I can see it really easily. The cursor, sometimes it's easy to lose them, so just you want to make sure you know where yours is. Do you see this little leaf? I know people have mixed opinions about Khan Academy, but if you like it, that's a Khan Academy connection. If you don't like it, ignore it. Okay, do y'all see this V right here? This is access to all of the tools that, not all of them, a lot of the tools that we pay for. So this Dropbox public resources, these are free. But NBC Learn, ShareStream, and Office Mix, these are things that the school pays for. So we have access to directly put them within content pages also. So there's a lot of ways, like I can give you 4 different ways to add NBC Learn, so don't get stuck up on, oh gosh, I just need to remember everything. This is just to show you there's lots of options. Canvas is very versatile and very pliable, super easy to add things in different places. Yes? It's only how you want it. It's all up to you. It does not matter. So this is mine right now. It probably got embedded as medium. I can just change the size on my own without it having to do it for me. Okay. So The other things I want to go over are announcements. So the announcements right here, it's grayed out. Why is it grayed out? I made it available. Nothing's in there. So go ahead and click on your announcements. It's telling me I have no announcements. This is a great way to reach your entire class at once and kind of give them, hey, this is the rundown for week 1, or reminder that you have this due next week. Now, how many of y'all use Blackboard? Okay, about half of y'all? Okay. Blackboard would allow your announcements to be the first thing students saw. And that way they would know, there's no way for them to say, I didn't see the announcement. Well, Canvas, we can't make your announcements the first thing they see. But something just came out. It was released on Saturday. We can now have your last 5 announcements, so the 5 most recent announcements, show up on your homepage. So whatever you choose students to land on in Canvas, so whatever you have your opening page, your most 5 recent announcements can scroll through. And I will show you how to do that, but first let's make an announcement. So how do you think we're going to make an announcement? At least Canvas is very predictable too. So we're going to add plus announcement. Announcements are very similar to discussion boards. It can be a little bit annoying, so I'll show you some tricks to get around that. I'm just going to say welcome announcement. Do y'all recognize this text editor box? You can make your announcement really fancy if you want. So you'll just say something to the students. You can add files. If you're really on top of your game, you can write all your announcements for the semester and just delay the posting. So I can write an announcement maybe on a Sunday because I have lots of free time to go be released on a Tuesday. So I would just say delay posting, and I would pick the time and the date I want it released. So you can really get down to the nitty-gritty levels here. So you can add videos. You can do what you want with your announcement. It's very similar to the content page. I'm going to click Save. So this is my announcement to my students. Do y'all see how they can reply to this announcement? Oh, sometimes this can start a lot of conversation that's not necessary or unwanted. So let's block that ability. You can go to this little drop-down cogwheel, and what do you think I'm going to click to make them not be able to reply? Yeah, I forget to do this often, and I get lots of responses. And it's not that the questions are bad questions and they're not important. It's just something that causes a lot of talking amongst the class and can cause a lot of problems. So don't make my mistakes. And it goes to the whole class. Oh. And sometimes, yeah, because Canvas sometimes doesn't exactly say that it's an announcement versus an email. It may, but I haven't looked at it that closely. And students, you know how personal they'll get. They'll give us TMI all the time. Too much information all the time. So you see this little cogwheel right here with my announcement? Oh, sorry. Look on your top right. Yeah, okay. Click down that and you're going to see open for comments. Cheryl, would you mind turning one of the lights off in the back? That may help the screen. Close for comments. Yeah. Yeah, I think one. Is that a little better? Okay, perfect. Sorry about that, y'all. Thank you, Cheryl. Okay. So I have one announcement. Now, this you don't have to do, but this is just going to show you how you can have your announcements on that front page. So if you go back to Settings, go ahead and click on Settings. Oh, you see there should be a little lock next to the announcement? I'm going to say it's your screen resolution because I've never seen a partial lock. Were there already comments there for any reason? Was this an old announcement? Okay. So as long as you have one announcement, you're good. I'm going to go to Settings. And again, you have to do this in every course. So just remember these steps. You have to do a lot. Now, last place I was in settings was navigation, but I want to go back to course details. So you're going to want to go to that first tab, not the last tab, or the middle tab. I'm going to scroll all the way down to the bottom. Do you see where it says more options? Go ahead and keep scrolling down. You should see more options all the way down. Okay, click more options. Okay. So there's a few things that you may want on here. One thing, because I forget about the disabling comments, you see how you can click disable comments on announcements? You can click that, and that's going to be for all announcements in this course. You have to do it for all your courses. Okay. Do you see, have you ever had students maybe click on their grade and all of a sudden they see the class high, the low, the average? You may not want them to know those stats because for me, if a student doesn't take it, they get a 0 and that's going to skew everything. Hide grade distribution. That's an option. So these are just kind of things that you can play around with. You can make, so in a discussion board, you can decide for each discussion board if you want students to edit or delete their post. If you want them to have that for every discussion board and not having to do it individually, you can do it as a mass click for the course. That's a teacher's personal preference. Sometimes you want to have their original material there to see how they progress, so they can't delete it. That's kind of up to you. Okay. Show recent announcements on the course homepage. Click that, and then I think you can go up to 5. Oh, you do? Okay, so when I got trained on this, which was just like 3 weeks ago before they released it, it was 5. So this is awesome. Okay. People probably complained that quickly, and they wanted more. Okay, so we're in navigation, settings. Scroll down all the way down to the bottom. In settings. We are now in course details. Scroll all the way down to the bottom. Go to more options. And we're at this one, show recent announcements. So, okay, that's awesome. It's 15. See, I learned something new today myself. And you can choose it. I mean, for me, 3 or 5 is probably sufficient, but that's up to you. And then you're just going to save, update your course details. You can change any of this at any time. Now, yesterday, John asked me yes? Mm-hmm. Oh, keep it at only teachers. You don't want students to have any rights to changing your course. Now, if it's a teaching course, like it's all teachers enrolled, like I have people enrolled as students, yeah, you can give them more rights if you want. But if it's your 101, W01, do not give students any rights. Some stuff is undoable in Canvas. Some stuff you cannot undo. Okay. This is your course detail tab under settings. Oh, if you go all the way down, do you see where it says disable comments? Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Now, I want to show you one more thing. This is what John asked me yesterday about courses. I don't know if you get emails. I sent one out at the end of the semester, but I know y'all get a lot of emails, so a lot of mine get deleted. I try not to overburden y'all, but a lot of times there is important information in there. We cannot unpublish Canvas courses once there's student activity in there. But you'll see that this term says default term, and this means that it's always open for us because we're in our sandboxes. But for the spring 2017 semester, I'm going to go to one of my courses just so you can see. So this is spring 2017. We can see that my start date and my end date, they're already preset. Okay. This is a lab, so it's not online or hybrid, and that's why it's not starting till the first day, like a physical class on that Tuesday. But this right here, this March 12th, I picked a mini session, so this is a bad mini session to pick. But March 12th is when this one ends. Okay, it's preset. You can change this, but know that if you don't touch anything, your course automatically is not available for student activity. A student can still go in the course, they can peruse it. They cannot touch anything. They can't download, they can't do any graded assignments. So it's basically like an inactive web page that they can see everything on. Okay? This automatically is set in all your courses. If you want to change that date, you can. I do not suggest changing it to earlier. I would suggest if you change it, make it a little bit later. Because we get a lot of calls, I can't get into my course anymore. I'll go into the course and I'll notice the teacher closed it down May 1st, the last day of classes, but there's still finals going on. So we get a lot of emails like that. You have a question, Troy? That is, I personally suggest that for online hybrids. Face-to-face, it depends on how heavy you use Canvas. But for online and hybrids, even that 1 day extra allows them to get acclimated. Now, they're still dropping and adding students. When they do that, if a student does work and gets dropped, when they get added back in, their grades and their work are still there. So you don't actually lose their material, but you just lose them for that period of time. Because we know how students are, they forget to pay, financial aid maybe had a hiccup, so they'll get dropped and added many times. Right now we have it for life, but our contract ends in 2 years, so, it just depends on our contract. But Canvas is on Amazon Cloud, so we have unlimited storage as of now. I think eventually they might start limiting our storage, but we'll start getting rid of classes from 3 years ago. We have to keep documentation for 1 year for appeals. So we won't touch any course. So this is spring 17. Spring 16 is still intact, but fall 15, if we wanted to, we could delete. Because that's over a year. But we usually, even when we had Blackboard, we would do deletion. We would never do 2. We would do either 2 or 3 years past. We wouldn't do anything too recent. So don't stress about that yet until you hear something from us. Because it was in our contract that we wouldn't be limited, but that could change eventually. Okay, so a lot of y'all came in for some different stuff. I know for the attendance tool and for the rubrics. I could go on and on for basics. There's a lot of stuff I didn't even go over, but Canvas is friendly. Play around with it. Almost everything you can undo. Almost everything, okay? So don't be scared. That's what a sandbox is for also. What I want to show you is the attendance tool. Now, there are a lot of great factors to the attendance tool, and there are some not so great aspects to the attendance tool. So what I would like you to do is go into any course from this semester. We're not going to do anything. I'm going to show you how it works, okay? So I'm just going to pick a course that I know I use it in, my face-to-face course. I don't use it in my online courses. That's my personal homepage. Yeah, I like the syllabus as my homepage. A lot of teachers hate it. That's a preference. They don't like it because they may not put due dates up. And if you scroll down on my syllabus, you see all my due dates are pre-done. If you don't do that, all of the due dates are just going to be blank, and we're going to have a list of assignments, and that scares students. So there's pros and cons to the syllabus. Yes. Yeah. The syllabus page is a content page with an automatic dynamic calendar built in. If you don't like that, just use a content page for your home page. So, attendance. Okay, go ahead. Oh, yes. Oh. They may just not be showing up for us. Sometimes the screens don't work very well. Let's see.
I didn't click on any, but why are these two? They're always saying course, and yet these two. Does that little box mean something?
It might mean but these. I would have to look at that a little bit more. Okay. Yeah, let's look at it. I can look at it after this. Yeah, open any course. Yes, you may. I don't know if it'll show up that well. You might want to come over here, Joy, and take it from the screen. Okay. So I'm going to click on my attendance tool. Now, your attendance tool, you may hide or you may keep. Students don't actually see this tool. It's just a teacher link. But if I go to my settings, that is where I can either make it active or make it inactive. So,
Okay, so I'm understanding that even if you make it active,
they don't see it. There's a few tools that are like that with Canvas. They're all what we call the structure tools. So if you use online teaching and you might use Lockdown Browser, students never see that, only instructors do. Yeah, authorize. Yes, yeah, for the initial one. It should give you a warning and say make it active or authorize it. It should give you that option. Yeah, but you have to make it active in the settings navigation. By default, it's active. Yeah. By default, it's active, but you may have hidden it at one time. Okay, so since there's no grades, I'm not that worried about my students' names being up there right now. But you can see these are my students' names. Look, some of my students even have their picture. Okay, so yay for them. I might get to know them before class starts. Let's be realistic, I won't. Okay, so I use attendance in all of my classes except for my online. Now, the attendance tool is great for keeping attendance. How the attendance tool gives you its data is a nightmare. So I will tell you my workaround. It is a nightmare. You don't want to depend on it. Okay? So say today is the first day of class. You have 3 options. They're present, they're absent, or they're late. So go ahead and just pick any student. So we're going to make Brittany. She was present. Kachona was absent. And Alexis was late. So I go down this row, and I just call out my students' names, if they're here, whatever. The X is the second click. Yeah, so first click is present, second click is absent, third click is late. Yeah. Okay. Now, you can actually go into more detail. You can click more. And it just takes too long, in my opinion. It's so much quicker just to go down. Okay. No, you can't do it. You don't get those options. It just gives you, you can add a badge for them being present, and that's just a lot of work. It's not a bad idea. Yeah. Canvas doesn't allow that. But you can make notes if you want to use this. Yeah. So this is my thing. If they're late, they're late. I don't care if it's 2 minutes or if it's 30 minutes. That's just late to me. I only really keep late attendance for my dean, or if a student's like, why am I doing so poorly? Well, you're missing the first 10 minutes of class every day, and that's when we do our group quiz, you know. So that's really, it's for me. Now, I usually do attendance every class period. Sometimes I forget. Once you have attendance built up, you can export attendance. So I'm just going to show you all this. Let me just go through, give some of these students. And I'm going to do this. I can mark all present if they were all there. So I'm just going to mark all present. Okay. You see this little cogwheel right here? Okay. Do you see where it says attendance report? Okay, I'm going to click that. It's going to say, when do you want this report to tell you your data? Well, I only have 1 day of data, but I can say my start date was the 9th. And my end date is the 11th. Okay? And I'm going to say run report. The report is sent to my email account. So it's sent to DCC email account. So you'll never get it in here. And it says your report should arrive shortly in your inbox. Okay. You can do it for the whole semester, but you're not going to want to. Okay? So the cogwheel, it should be in the top right-hand corner. Mine's just thinking. Give it a chance to think. It may be too big. Your view may be too big. Oh, are you in a, is this an old class? No, it's spring. This is odd. Oh, there we go. See, scroll over just a little bit. Okay. Okay, I'm going to do something else real quickly. I'm going to give them 2 dates of attendance. Okay. Yeah, I'm just going to show you how it comes out, and this is why you don't want to use their report, and I'll tell you what I do to use the report. Okay. Okay, so what I just did is I marked everyone present for January 10th, and I marked everyone present for January 11th. Now I'm going to re-email myself the report. Okay, and it's got sent to my email account. And do y'all see how it quickly, this is the first one I emailed myself. The second one should be coming in any minute or any second. Okay. So basically this report that I'm getting is just a hyperlink of 2 days. But even with just these 2 days, you'll see the con of the attendance output. Okay. That's a lot of junk information. It's basically giving me, every time I take information, it's going to give me my course ID, the SIS, the name, my teacher, the student's number, the student's name, class date, present, and it's going to do this for everything. So you're getting like 5 columns for each date. So what I do is I don't ever use these reports. I do still use the attendance tool. Once a week in an Excel file, I have my students' names, and I just mark them present, absent, late. And I do that once a week. So I don't do it every day. It's just too much busy work. So once a week, whether it's a Friday, a Monday, whatever I decide that day is going to be, I visually just look at my attendance, and then I transfer it. No, not yet. Yeah. And this is my workaround because I think the tool has a lot of, it's a great tool to use in class. Just go down it. You don't have to keep up with a piece of paper, signing students in. But the output is just awful. But if a student is fighting you, you can always go to the output and look where they really hear that day. Whoever wants to go first. Joy. That's another way to do it. Yeah, and that's another way to do it. So this is, but some people use attendance as part of the grade. It depends on your department. So my department does not allow attendance to be part of the grade. Exactly. It's going to print 100-something pages. But if you use attendance as a grade, you can set up the attendance tool to be a graded tool. So let me, not in a pretty manner. Your deans will be very upset if you hand them 40 pages of attendance. So it's thinking real quickly. I'm going to show you what you can do. So it's in the complaints, but that doesn't mean they're going to fix it. If you go down to this little cogwheel, do you see where it says roll call settings? Okay. You can decide how the grades are going to be affected. I make my roll call 0% of the grade. Attendance in my department is expected. But some departments say, yeah, you can make it a few percentage of the grade. Or you can make it count at the end of the semester as a few bonus points. So you can say if they attend, they're going to get 100% for that day. If they don't attend, they get 0. If they're late, you can decide what it's going to be. You can't do different latenesses. You got one option, so 80, 50, 40, whatever you decide. So a lot of people actually use the attendance as part of their calculated grade. This is a way for it to do it for you. But again, don't depend on that report when you need to turn it in at the end of the semester because it comes out really ugly. And so I learned that the hard way. Valeria learned it the hard way. But after that semester, I just started using it as a record keeper, and then I go back once a week and do it. So you go to attendance, and then I just go to the date that I'm interested in. So right now, it's on Tuesday, January 10th. If I'm going back, if it's Friday the 13th, I think, I would say, okay, I need the 11th attendance report. I just click right here. Or if you need someone that's really late back, if you like get behind on your work like I do, you might say, okay, I need the 24th, so I can just go to the calendar and pick what date I want. And another thing is if you end up using that report, if you're like, okay, I can deal with all these columns, as students drop, their names won't align anymore. So you can't just assume row 3 is all one student because it doesn't keep them linear anymore. It's going to start taking the drop students out. Yeah. So this is from my experience. It was a nightmare. So now I use it as a tool so I could easily go back and use it and show my students, hey, you didn't attend. This is why your grade shows you 80% or 50%. Do you have any questions about the lovely attendance tool? Oh, so you can't do it from here. You have to actually, can you do it from here? No, you have to actually go to courses and pick your next class. Now it is 12:45. It's supposed to, I think, end around now, but I'm happy to stay and do rubrics, but y'all may be worn out from all this information. Yeah, my jury, they decided I don't need to come in. They've already assigned me my jury dates. Tomorrow, I can tell you what tomorrow is. I had jury duty, but now they just assigned me all my dates, so now I'm missing a lot of school. Tomorrow is not, Friday is there rubrics on Friday? Oh, Friday is basically open lab. So from 9 to 12, there will be 3 of us in here. I'm going to do a clicker session on polling and using free tools. We'll do an online resource session, but also there's 3 of us in here, and so people will be here just to walk you through whatever questions you have. So it's like a one-on-one time if you want help. But I'm happy to stay and do rubrics for anyone that wants rubrics. One? It could be. It may be for 10 a.m. Maybe I just missed it. It's 10. Let's see. Tomorrow, 1:30, creating and using rubrics. Tomorrow at 1:30 is creating and using rubrics. But I'm happy to stay and do it today. Okay. That's fine. Yeah, That's fine. Yeah, 1:30 tomorrow. Don't leave. Thank you. Look at y'all calling me. These are your certificates. You just write your own name on them. It just saves me time. Yes, you may. Go to your assignments on the left-hand side and make it 0% of the grade. Yes. Yes. I'll start rubrics in just a second. Thank you, Lynn. First try.
How can I make it like this, please? For this video that's in there? Because I couldn't get that one in.
Are these YouTubes or are these?
Those are the ones that's in there. But I cannot get that one in. When I want to do YouTube, but I can't find it in YouTube for that. YouTube will put it that way. But this one I couldn't find for that.
Enter. So usually the enter is what does it. Cut it, repaste it, and click enter. So that's how that usually happens. Okay, paste it now and hit enter. I'm wondering if the only YouTube videos do this.
Because that's through YouTube.
Yeah, that must be only a YouTube thing.
No, but this one is through. They didn't have one for YouTube for this video.
It was just us cutting and pasting, unless you changed something else. Okay.
Okay, so if I go to here, where is this on YouTube?
Oh, it may not have it on YouTube because Canvas loads their own MP4s. It may not have it. Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, it may not be. Canvas uses Vimeo, so unless someone like recorded it and posted it to YouTube, then it won't be there. Yeah. Yeah, it could have been that other people like.
Maybe you know how to get from here to there, because I wanted to be consistent. And I was
no, do it. Save. That's just gonna save it as an MP4, if it even does that.
So I'm gonna have to run it and then put it back in there.
I mean, if you're okay with it being like this, I mean, it's just one link. You can even just say, click here, click the link to watch the video.
Or either go do a screenshot and put it in.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You know, it's like one of those things, like a lot of animations I use are through publishers, but people record them and put them on YouTube, so it's easier to load. So I just go find the ones on YouTube. Okay. So who's ready for some rubric fun? Yes. Meeting after this? Yeah. Rubrics can take me about 15-20 minutes. I'll go back to my office. Is 201W. But I'm coming to your office, right, to the desktop. What's your office again?
It's in the arts and humanities.
Okay.
It's right by the mailboxes.
Perfect. Okay.
I just wanted to briefly. I didn't think I needed this since I've been
You don't
here
need
a
it.
while.
You do not need it
Okay.
at all. I'm only coming just to make sure everyone has access to Canvas. I'm not doing anything here. That's all Elizabeth.
Right. Well,
I'll be there till 1:30.
Okay. Okay.
And then I may come by on Friday regarding the grade book, because one of the issues that did arise was although I did learn through this other thing on the settings where I could disable like the cumulative thing. Because
a lot of it's teacher preference. There's no answer that makes everyone happy. So there's just like, you got to figure out what works best.
That sort of drove a couple students crazy.
But you know what? It's just, you got to learn how to live with certain things.
I know, and I assuaged them. I mean, they ended up being happy, but at the time.
Yeah, I mean, it's good though, I think, for students, because they start to learn about weights and percentages, and that just because they're doing great in one area does not mean their overall grade's going to be great.
Yeah.
Like, I think it starts to make them see how things affect their grade.
And I know at some point, although it's funny because our department's sort of disabled it, because originally they said they wanted us to use the attendance tool, but curiously, for some reason, the requirement went away. And now
it's probably because people were turning it in as the printout that Canvas gave.
Why.
And this printout now is horizontal. The old printouts were linear.
Oh, wow.
So it was even worse.
Oh, wow.
So that's a new change, but either way, they're horrific. That's why I just go in and make mine. But a lot of departments do use it for grade, so it's a really good tool for that aspect.
Yeah. Thanks.
You do not want to use Canvas's printout. You want to keep up with it yourself. Once a week, once every 2 weeks, go in and just mark students either absent or present based on the attendance tool. Yeah, you can do an Excel spreadsheet with the students' names and just make columns after it that says each date, and then under each date whether they're absent or present. Don't use the report. Yeah, just use the tool to keep track of students.
Just double click when you click once, then show absent.
Click once is present, twice is absent.
Or they have
mark all if they're all present, and if you click 3 times, it's going to be a yellow, and that's late.
Oh, that does prompt a question. If I'm not using the report, but I am taking attendance in there, can an administrator later check out?
Yes.
That's okay.
Yeah. Let me tell you, administrators have access to everything. They have no time to do anything. So, yes, we can be big brothers. None of us have time. So just think about that.
Okay.
None of us have time to go through. I think we have like 4,000 classes or something. We don't have time to go through any of those. We only go through classes when there's an issue that arises. That's the only time we enter classes. So.
I mean, on that score, I'm still 20th century. I have a great book.
There's nothing wrong with that. If that works for you, that works for you. It's just wherever you're comfortable. I just want people to know that, yes, the attendance tools has its place, but the reporting from it is horrific. I just want people to know that so they don't go in it and then at the end of the semester have to go back and do everything by hand. That's right. Only if you go through each date. Yeah. So that's why I do it once a week. I keep up with it once a week. Sometimes once every 2 weeks. I get behind. But you don't have to use it if you don't want to. I just wanted y'all to be aware. Yes, you'll go to settings and navigation and pull it up.
And Lisa, towards the end of last semester, it started saying Pearson wants access to your Canvas account.
I would say yes, just because I am not aware of any updates, but I know they had a lot of trouble with My Math Lab last semester in general. So I know Pearson did with like integrations.
So I was like, first of all, why is it saying it now when it didn't say
Yeah, they probably did an update. They probably did an update to it mid-semester.
And then I